Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's we're going to be going over the all-new Ram Rebel HD. Before we get into the video though, as always, if you're going to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Let's talk about this Ram Rebel HD, and it looks like I was pretty close to being right with the official specs on this Ram Rebel HD. So first off, it is only being built off of the Ram 2500. You cannot get this package on a 3500, which kind of makes sense with how this is an off-road oriented truck, and the 2500 is a better off-roader compared to the 3500. Reason being, the 2500 has the multi-link setup in the rear, whereas the 3500 has leaf springs, which are great for towing, not so great for off-roading. Now, the big news with this Ram Rebel is the fact that you can get it with the diesel powertrain. So it actually comes standard with Ram's 6.4 liter Hemi that's paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission, but you can add in the Cummins diesel. Now, with the 2500, you only get the standard output of the diesel, so 370 horsepower and then 850 pound-feet of torque, paired to a 6-speed automatic known as the 68 RFE. And so yeah, we don't get the Ison setup with 1,075 pound-feet of torque in this new Ram Rebel HD, but still a really solid powertrain overall. Now, cosmetically with this package, it looks pretty much identical to the Power Wagon. They literally have said that they pretty much took the Power Wagon styling and just threw it on this truck. Now, there are some distinct differences. First off, the wheels are a little bit different. So this is actually coming out with 20-inch wheels as standard for the initial run. And then apparently there will be an 18-inch wheel available later down the line. So if you want a smaller wheel, you're just going to have to wait a little bit. And then it also does have a sport hood as well, with like a little vent there in the center to differentiate it from the Power Wagon, which I think it actually looks pretty dang cool on the truck. Now, wrapped around those 20-inch wheels are 33-inch all-terrain tires, and again, when the 18s come out at a later date, those will have 33s wrapped around them as well. I think it's interesting that they went for the 18s instead of the 17s. Well, actually, thinking about it for a second, has to have 18s because the diesel needs bigger brakes. There we go. I just answered my own question in the video, funny enough. But anyways, we also get skid plate protection underneath, electronic locking rear differential, and it also has a limited slip rear differential. So what that means is this truck is going to have a very grippy rear end, but the front end doesn't get anything special. There is no sway bar disconnect. There is no locking front differential like the Power Wagon. So this is going to be slightly less capable from an off-road perspective compared to the Ram Power Wagon. But just like the Power Wagon, it also gets a winch, 12,000 pound winch, which is pretty cool. And so it pretty much is a diesel Power Wagon when you look at all of the specs. And by the way, the winch is not standard equipment. It is optional equipment on this truck. Now, the last thing I want to talk about before I kind of dive into some Ben Hardy opinions on this truck is because this has the diesel, towing capacity is going to be just under 17,000 pounds. Max payload capacity, if you get the bare bones package, is going to be around 3,000 pounds. If you load it up with options, and you know that's what most people probably do with this package, your payload capacity is going to be closer to that like 2,000-ish pound range, which is still more than the Power Wagon, but it's still not a crazy massive amount. And that's the one downside about the Ram 2500 is it just doesn't have a crazy high payload capacity. Oh, and then also it does get a new digital dash. That is just a 23 Ram thing. So the 1500, 2500, and 3500 all get a digital dash. And I'll try to remember to put that in like the little lineup of photos in this video. But first off, I think that taking the Power Wagon styling, I think that works perfectly fine. Like, it's really cool styling, so they nailed it from a stylistic perspective. And then as for the interior, they're pretty much just doing the same thing as what they do with the Power Wagon. So you can get like a bench seat interior that's kind of like base model, and then you can load it up to be like a Laramie, and then you can also load it up to be like a Limited where you have the full-on leather interior. So I think that nailed it from that perspective as well. And then, you know, with the overall setup, I think they did a really good job. I am slightly confused as to why they didn't add a front locker with this package, because they already have the technology there with the Power Wagon, and that wouldn't really get in the way of the towing capacity. Yes, the sway bar disconnect for sure would get in the way, and if they did the off-road shocks that the Power Wagon has, then that would also get in the way. But this has off-road tuned suspension, but it's not the same exact setup as what you have in the Power Wagon. So yeah, I think that was a little bit of a miss. I think they should have done a front locker, but the Ram 2500 still utilizes a solid front axle and a solid rear axle, so with the articulation you'll have with this truck, it'll still be extremely capable off-road. The other thing I think that they slightly missed on with this truck is the tire size. They're still using freaking 33-inch tall tires as standard. I don't understand that. Like, Ram needs to understand that 33s are not okay on a heavy-duty truck. They were like 10 years ago, but it's 2022. And a lot of half-ton trucks have 35s now. And so putting 33s on a heavy-duty just looks not good whatsoever. So I wish that they would have done 35s, but just like what most people do with power wagons, you're just going to take the stock 33s, throw them off, and then throw on aftermarket 35s as soon as you get it. And it's got more than enough space in the wheel wells to fit those 35s. So that'll be the most common upgrade on this new Ram Rebel HD. And so other than those two minor things, I think overall they did a great job with the truck. And so I'm all about the package. I'm really excited for the chance that I get to, when I get to review it basically in the near future. But I want you guys to let me know what you think about this new Ram Rebel HD and if it's something that you would be interested in, or if you think that it's just not quite, up to the Ram Rebel name, I suppose, and if you don't think it really competes with the Ford F-250 and F-350 Tremor, and then obviously the GMC Sierra AT4. And I guess we could also throw in the Chevy Silverado Z71 package because, that kind of competes with it as well. And so, yeah, let me know what your guys' thoughts are on this new Ram Rebel HD. Sorry, this video was kind of rushed, but it's just a matter of, it's just how things work sometimes. I'm going to cut things off. I can't talk anymore. I'll see you.